Good evening and welcome to the Graham Craig Root Show. Thank you for tuning in, guys. Happy Tuesday. Tonight's show is sponsored by Energy Awareness and Versatile Fashions. So, guys, tonight I'm joined by Michael Magner, Ruairi O'Donovan, Caoilian Sherlock, and Stephanie Fogarty. Thank you for joining me, guys.
Thanks for having me.
Guys, last week we ran a fabulous competition thanks to Versatile Fashions. We offered to give away one lucky viewer one fabulous pair of skinny jeans. I was envious I couldn't enter the competition. That lucky winner is David Auctioneer Specialist. You will have a message from ourselves at the end of the show. Congratulations, guys. But guys, January, we're in a very given mood here at NC Media. So we have another competition. So guys, to enter into tonight's competition, make sure you like this post, comment your lucky partner, and share. What is tonight's competition? Rory, tell us all.
So we've got 2 tickets to Scotty's Fat Blokes at Frickin' Crane and 2 tickets to local heroes Lords of Struts, Drama at Frickin' Crane on the 8th and 9th of February.
Fabulous.
And all you have to do is like this post and tag your friend in it, the person you want to bring with you, and then just share.
Are you actually sure? You're going to sing I Believe? Are you going to sing?
Can I enter?
So guys, tonight's main topic is body positivity. My question to you guys at home, have we become a nation obsessed with image? Are we an image obsessed society? Guys, what's your thoughts? Starting with yourself, Stephanie.
No pressure. I think we've become obsessed to a point, but it reaches 2 ends of it. It can either be people don't look on the healthy end of the spectrum, or else they're too obsessed with it. I think people trying to find a happy balance within society is the thing. And it's just trying to find a happy balance within your own mental health as well, and it's what you see when you look in the mirror, and that's kind of my thoughts on it. We have become obsessed to a point, but it's about how to redirect the obsession into something more positive.
And then with Rory and Caoilian, it's obviously something that you feel very passionate about because a festival that's starting very soon, you've kind of really put your main focus on body positivity.
Yeah, so we are both part of a team that run Quarter Block Party. It's an arts festival that happens on North Main Street and South Main Street. And this year we're focusing on body positivity, and I suppose working with really great Irish artists and international artists, we've been learning a lot about like what body positivity means and where people are at, and that's kind of everything from like fat activism, body positivity, trans and gender queer and gender fluid visibility, so people who don't like identify as the gender that maybe they were assigned at birth, or kind of everything and anything. So there's kind of something in the programme that looks at the role of the body and kind of how we relate to it as Irish people.
And Caoilian, your own thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, one of the ethos of the festival is to bring people together, and I think when it comes to stuff like trans rights and when it comes to body positivity, I think like anything, communicating and getting people together to discuss and like learn and listen to each other is what's important. And the purpose of art is to teach each other different perspectives. So yeah, I think I think we're not going to find like answers to something like that at a festival, but it's, I think, a good way to get people to come along and learn from the perspective of somebody else.
Mr. Michael Magner?
Yeah, Graham, we are in the hotel business, so we see people, I suppose, when they look their best. And I think, when you talk about body positivity, I think we all want to look well, whatever way we're shaped, whether we're tall, small, whether we want to look our best at all times. And I think in the hotel business, when you see, particularly when we do an awful lot of weddings, you see people coming in and they look amazing. But also I think people want to feel amazing when they dress up for an event or when they're going out for an event. I think society, and we were chatting about this before we came on air, I think that social media has played a part in terms of how people shape the way they look. But I suppose the way, in my mind, people are looking at it is because I think corporations and large corporations are shaping the way people should think about they look. And I admire what you're doing in terms of your activism and promotion of it, because you know what? There's parts of my body I don't like. But if I'm encouraged to, say, well, listen, you look great, whatever way you are, listen, that's a really good and it's a positive thing out there, because we spoke about mental health as well. In order to feel good about yourself and feel healthy, I think it's a better thing for society. So I think maybe there's an opportunity to have a little pushback in social media and those challenges. We read about whereby kids in schools in second level are being bullied as a result of whatever issues through social media. And I remember when I was in primary school and second level school, if you didn't have a great week at school, or you left it on a Friday and you got home at the weekend and you could park it, but now it follows you in, all the time, and it's there around you all the time. So to have movements and I suppose reference points to go to encourage how you behave yourself or how you feel about yourself, I think is encouraged, and it's very important. And we want to see that in our business as well.
Your main thing, I feel like when you get engaged in Cork, Vienna Woods, so people always pop down to Michael in Vienna Woods, he'll really look after you and have a chat with Michael. It's the ring isn't even on the finger, people are like, get down to Vienna Woods.
Okay.
Michael, what such an achievement though in Cork alone, and even further afield, that people will spread that message to a newly engaged couple.
Yeah, thanks, Graham. Well, it's not all about Michael. We have a team of 120 working in the hotel, so they're the people that make it happen. And we're doing about 150 weddings a year. But I suppose in our business, it's about being personal, and it's about making everybody feel comfortable and say, listen, come on in and let's have a chat. And you tell us about what you want. And in a way, it's a little bit about what you're doing in your activism. It's as far as like letting people express themselves. And while there might be there's never a view where one size or one product fits all. It's about giving people the flexibility to do what they want to do and to listen to people as well. I mean, we engage with couples from all over the world, right here in Cork, outside of Cork, and every couple is different, believe it or not, and every couple have a different set of requirements and needs for what they want in their day and how to deliver on it. And I suppose that ties in a little bit to the whole positivity thing, because when a bride and groom arrives in, the first thing you want to say is, Jesus, what a difference a day makes, insofar as they're coming into you the day before the wedding and the tan is on and the nails are done and the hair is not ready, and then 24 hours later there's an amazing bride or this really dapper looking groom, or two brides will arrive in, two grooms will walk in. You say, Jesus, lads, you look fantastic. And you genuinely mean it, because you're working with everybody right through from when they make their initial inquiry right up to the big day themselves. And I think that's why we dress up. I even said earlier on before we came on air that I'm really overdressed tonight among the panel or whatever. And you know what, to be honest, I nearly prefer to take off the jacket and then join you, because sometimes you feel a little bit isolated from how you, and you're probably more comfortable, in clothes you feel more comfortable in as well. So I think that's part of it also.
Do you tell them they still look good the day after the wedding?
Well, you know what? in all honesty, what you'd say to them is either late night, I'd say, or an early morning.
So if you hear that, you know that you're insulting someone.
Yeah, this is it. But you'll always try to hold back, and I suppose diplomacy in all our jobs and our careers is part of it. And we're in a society now where you have to be mindful of what you think and maybe not to say it, because you could upset somebody. And, regardless of your beliefs or your opinions, when you're in an open forum and you can share them and have a healthy debate about it, that's good. But when it gets to be personal and, and people's feelings can be hurt, that's not good.
There's a difference between debate and nasty.
Yeah, and that's negative.
I find this that people forget at times, like, when they say something, it can really have a lasting effect, and it can even go into the back of your mind and stay there for a couple of days, and can really, so we're not often conscious of what effects our words can have. But I suppose one big thing is happening this Sunday in Cork. Vienna Woods is the place to be this Sunday, Michael?
Well, I suppose we'd like to say Vienna Woods is the place to be every day of the year. But this Sunday we have our annual Wedding Fayre, and it's our big showcase event, Graham, for the hotel, whereby we showcase the hotel in its beauty for couples that have already secured the venue as the location for their wedding, or for couples that may be considering a venue for their wedding. So in that context, we run it for 2 hours only on Sunday evening from 5 until 7 p.m. And we'll have over 500 or 600 people visit the hotel that evening, and they get to meet and engage with our suppliers and chat with our team as well. And for our team, it's an opportunity for them to be proud of where they work and to show off the hotel as well. Because, I suppose a hotel it's a living, breathing business. And I've often said this when you'd stand up and you might be involved in sponsoring awards, lunches and events like that. And, you know, the hotel is only bricks and mortar. And that's what, in our business, what it is. But it's the people that work in our business that make it the business that it is. And it's the people that we have from all nationalities, all over the world, all creeds, and beliefs, if you like, and it's about having that culture of respect, and to also make our customers feel welcome. We did this thing recently whereby we were doing a briefing session and we had the entire team, we challenged this new idea for the briefing where there was a large banquet on in the hotel, but we brought all the kitchen team and the banqueting team into one room 10 minutes before the function was about to start, and we had a big briefing, and it was like learning a little bit about each department. But at the end of it I stood up and I said, guys, can I see your teeth? And I went like that, what's this? And they said, teeth. And I said, well, that's what people want to see. And they said, your teeth? I said, no, smiles. Yeah, and it's a big part of it. And to make the guests feel enjoyable, because we're in the hospitality business, and we generally see people when, I suppose,
return
when they're
of trade
their best.
is a massive thing for yourself as well.
Absolutely. Return business. And you know what? You can never underestimate in our business how fickle it is in a way, because, you know, the public nowadays are a little bit, I can't say unforgiving, because still the majority of people that visit us, when we make mistakes, and we will make mistakes, and you know what, at least if you turn around and say you learn from them, but you come back and you sometimes the public are a little bit unforgiving, and now you have social media, and you have review sites and anonymous review sites, and they're people could be a little bit unfair. So we took a very proactive step, I think, recently, whereby we had a pretty negative comment on one of the review sites. And we analysed it, and the customer's points were valid. There was no doubt about it. But then the customer never gave us an opportunity to resolve the customer's issue while in the hotel. And, you know, then went on dissatisfied and left. So we put up little frames all over the hotel, and the heading of it is, please take a moment. And it goes on to read that if we don't deliver on what your experience should be for you, please let a member of our team know, and we will do our best to resolve it before leaving the hotel and having a disappointed experience or opinion of the place, and come to us first. And sometimes we've forgotten that, and we're very quick to vent now, you know, on social media, because phones are nearly an extension of us.
I think with venting on social media, it's like people won't vent as strongly person to person, but when they're behind a phone or behind a computer, they'll become a keyboard warrior. And if they'll and sometimes even add legs on to a situation. But I find in any hotel, it's like if you approach them and say, not overly happy with this, let the hotel rectify it. And sometimes as a consumer, you're even more pleased that they've acted so urgently and rectified it.
And you're correct, because that was my response back to the guest who anonymously left the poor review. And we said, look, your points were well made. However, had you not considered to raise them with us while you were with us, we may have been able to change your opinion, and you may have come away saying, well, you didn't get off to a good start, but you know what, you turned it around and we've had a really, really good experience. And I think in all our careers, there's that element of it. And I think it's how you engage, and I think it's how you reply and respond with those experiences that maybe put you a little bit ahead, you know?
I think people are just set up for disappointment though these days, as in they go in expecting to be disappointed.
I think sometimes people go out to be critical. Sometimes people lately are going out to be more look for the critical as opposed to look for the good. Like, all right, compliment, this has been amazing so far, this food and drink, but like, oh, the sauce wasn't great, but the steak and chips were perfect.
But you make it all about the sauce.
But I don't see much steak and chips left. Like, so it's very kind of critical. Like, so I do notice that lately people are very kind of keen to go on the critical side of things. But I suppose with yourselves, there's a lot of pressure running a hotel, because you have the wedding side of things, then you have the food and hospitality, so you really have to trying to tick all the boxes. Like, as you said, it's a big team effort, because there's a lot of pressure there.
Absolutely. And as I said, in all our jobs, if you're in the people business, I mean, that's what it's about. And it's your team that are behind you, supporting you and working as part of a team. So we have Agar, who works in our wash-up department of the hotel, Eric, who's our facilities manager. They are as fundamental and as important as, to me, the owner of the hotel, to make sure that the delivery of the experience is there for our guests. And if we didn't have Agar or Eric or the other members of our team working in unison together, well, we won't get it right. We'll make mistakes. And that's with everything. You know, one of the trips I took to as a student was to Las Vegas, and I stayed in the largest hotel in the world at the time, was the MGM Grand. And we wanted to stay there just to experience how this large, huge hotel could operate as a business. And one of the things we learned over the number of days is that the team in the MGM were encouraged to use the word grand in any element of their engagement with their customer. So it was a branding exercise that we're saying, like, you have a grand stay, you have a grand day, how are you grand today, and all this stuff. So this was in a student, so, you know, back in the day where mobile phones weren't even invented or digital cameras. So I was down at this gift shop one day and I was buying a roll of film for the camera, and this cashier was terribly polite, very helpful. She just basically totaled me up and handed me the item, and I handed her the dollars or whatever, and she gave me back my change. But looking at the next customer, just said to me, you know, have a grand day. And she didn't even engage with me, and she became robotic. Yeah. And I interrupted her, as being the eager student as I was at the time, and I said, sorry, do you mind if I ask you, did you mean what you said? And she kind of stood back and looked, and, you know, Americans are very programmed for customer hospitality and whatever. And she goes, well, sir, what do you mean? And I said, well, did you mean what you actually said? And she said, well, we're supposed to use the word grand in our vocabulary. And I said, well, why don't you say something that you really mean? And she said, she had a big, real healthy laugh. And she said, you know what, you're right. You have a great stay in Vegas. And at that, the store erupted, you know, with people having, and that was hospitality. And sometimes we become so robotic in our nature because we're policies and rules and regulations. It's taking away a little bit of the real person that we are. And I encourage my team at all times, I said, like, engage with our guests. And while we have policies and procedures, be yourself. And that's really, really important. And I think that helps in any hotel or in any business as well, to be yourself and be natural.
So guys, you've heard it all. There's Mr. Michael Magner. If you're planning on popping the question this Valentine's Day, or you're newly engaged, Sunday afternoon, Vienna Woods, you can see Michael and his team. He chats so passionately about them. It's definitely, and when you're planning a wedding, it's the passionate that you need. You need to know that you can really trust the person who is responsible for your big day, and you definitely ooze that, Michael. So Michael, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Not at all. It's our pleasure.
Well, hello guys. How are you?
Good. Tough act to follow.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Michael, you definitely have to come back and chat to us again. Definitely, thank you, Michael. Ruairi and Caoilian, guys, February's going to be very exciting in Cork with you two boys.
Yeah,
it's coming up close.
We're about 3 weeks to go, so we're really busy getting everything ready for the festival. Yeah.
And the festival kicks off, it's 8th of February, is it?
Yeah, so it's 3 days, 8th, 9th and 10th. The 9th is kind of the busiest. The Sunday is the hangover kind of days, a little less going on. Friday's always very busy for us.
It's like Pride, I see us speaking kind of yeah. Well, it's like, guys, and is this the 5th year of the festival?
Yeah, 5 years.
5 years.
And how did you guys come to get involved with it?
Well, it was kind of our idea a couple of years ago. I would have known Ruairi a little bit, but not a huge amount. We would have worked on the core team are all artists, and in fact most of the people that work on the festival are artists themselves. And a couple of years ago, we just found that a lot of the work there's not enough places to show work, so we just wanted to support artists. We wanted to support artists in a kind of a way that helps the community as well. And we used to organise an event in the Todsoul Arts Centre, which is on South Main Street. And so,
I know where it is. That's where my wedding is this year.
Oh, your wedding is there this year.
Yeah, it's Christchurch. It's fabulous. It really is like so multifunctional. Yeah,
it's lovely. Really venue. And really valuable to the city centre. And so we pushed it out a bit, and we used other venues that are on North Main Street in that historic kind of area of Cork. And we've been working with all the people that live there and that have shops there for the last couple of years. And we've put gigs into shoe shops, and we've put weird art jugglers into the shopping centre, and we have exciting stuff everywhere.
But I see two local Cork national treasures. They're playing a part in this, aren't they?
Yeah. The lads from Lords of Strud are back. We actually, I think it was 2 years ago, we had them at the festival, and they had a show in Tony's Bistro. And there was a kind of street party happened naturally afterwards. It was like a big party on the street after the show. So we're really happy that they're going to be back. They're going to be in the Firkin and Crane on the Saturday night with their new show, world premiere, Drama.
The guys couldn't make it tonight, but they said you're going to do a little exclusive performance of what they're going to do on the night.
I'm going to do my first ever lift of Ruairi.
I lift you.
We've been practicing.
It's like the fact it's all like it's out there now today. I've seen it on social media as well, and I see a few people have given you write-ups about it, and you're chatting about it tonight. People want to get in part, buy tickets. Where can you get a ticket?
Yeah, you can find the whole programme for the festival on www.quarterblockparty.com, and we're on Facebook as well and Instagram. You can just search for Quarter Block Party and you'll find us. And the tickets are just available through the website. And you can buy, I think it's really important for us that, you know, sometimes it can be expensive to go to a concert or, you know, especially this time of year.
Especially in January.
February, yeah. So we're all waiting for the paycheck, you know,
January
to come
can
in.
be such a long one.
Such a long one. So we're kind of the perfect weekend night out after that long January, you know.
I feel like if you get paid at the end of January, you've really had to kind of rein in your reins during the month. Go to your festival, enjoy it, embrace it. And what made such body positivity be such a main focus for the festival for yourselves?
I think we were just we were seeing like a lot in the media, you know, a lot of like tonight on prime time. There's this big hullabaloo about the Gender Recognition Act, and also just like in our own kind of personal lives, kind of noticing. You know, it's like we were saying this kind of robotic thing about not knowing what we're saying to each other. Like you might just pass comments saying like, "Oh, you're looking awful thin," or "You look great," like we're after losing a lot of weight, or people just feel like we can comment on each other's bodies. And I think the artists that are around and that are coming to the festival are just responding to that. You know, saying like, not everyone looks like, you know, a supermodel, or not everyone wants to be, you know, kind of in the gym every day of January, and people can you're still beautiful no matter what your size is, you know. So this one show, Fat Blokes, on Friday night, it's an artist from the UK, Scotty, and it's 6 amazing fat identified big guys, and they are it's a gay night out there. It's kind of like if you can imagine Chippendales, but with like bigger
I'll avoid that
bears.
Is there one for ladies that's definitely might enjoy?
Well, I think like the ladies will certainly enjoy Fat Blokes as well, but I mean, Lords of Strut also, like they're 2 Cork lads, you know, and they're playing around also with like what does it mean to be a man, you know. I think it's really important for like young men coming up, everything that's been in the news, that like we see positive examples of what it means to be a man that aren't necessarily the traditional ones. So the 2 lads have a lot of fun with like masculinity and
I feel with the topic tonight, body positivity, like people automatically think women, and like as much yes, a massive part of it, but I feel I'm 25 myself, I feel like as a young guy in society these days that there is a pressure and a stigma, like that there's this new defined lean look that it's kind of expected in some ways. Like I'm going on holidays now in May, and like I'm there, and I'm doing it to myself and comparing myself to my friends. I actually kind of feel a bit anxious about going on holidays, but booking a holiday is something you should be full of joy about and excited about. So you can really let it build in your own head and compare yourself to other people as well. I definitely think with the show and like the acts that you have on, it's definitely like this is real life. Like, so this that song in The Greatest Showman, this is me. Embrace who you are, and definitely get yourself down to the show. Friday the 8th of February, it goes on for the weekend. So it's definitely the place to be on it. So it's definitely going to be.
We were actually just talking about that again before we went live. You know, my children now, my middle boy and his cousins, they're studying mindfulness, and is that incredible? You know,
like what a topic to study.
Yeah, but like in that context, you know, I think it's so positive because when you're faced with such a large abundance of information being thrown at you and opinion and the whole topic that we're talking about, to be confident about yourself regardless of how you look or what you follow, what your interests are, to be confident about that, to think that you can study that mindfulness piece, I think is really, really encouraging. And I mean, you know, the education providers need to be congratulated for that as well, because I certainly didn't have it as a young person. I think your point is very well made and it's valid because, you know, we went through, while I didn't have social media as a child growing up or into my teens or even to my late 20s or otherwise, it's a relatively new thing for us. I mean, that was still there, but it was different. I think was, you know, it was hidden a little bit, but I think to be confident in your own skin is really important.
I met up with my friend there over the weekend, and she did the natural look, which I actually love the natural look of women. And we bumped into two people that we know in the city, and they turned around to her and were like, have you a bug or you're not feeling well?
Yeah, straight away.
And she was just like, no, I have no makeup on. And I was just like, I loved her clear kind of response. She was like, no, I have no makeup on.
Yeah.
But like, it's like she did, like, she looked perfect, but it's just the fact that people turn around and be like, oh, are you sick?
Yeah.
Like, so like,
I think as well with the social media thing, you know, there is a lot of there's a lot of negativity about it, but there are a lot of like wonderful things happening online as well. I think there's a lot of people on Instagram and on Facebook, you know, that we wouldn't agree with, but we have one group just on the younger people side of things that are they're called gender.rip, and they're a bunch of young trans artists or gender queer or gender fluid artists. They're like really young, but they're at the top of their game. I think they're really exciting. And they're setting up a kind of pop-up on North Main Street called the Luxury Gender Automated Oasis. And basically that's going to be like a dry space. So that can be for like young people or young adults, or, you know, under 18s are also really welcome. Just a space to go and chill out, and just, you know, if you identify as LGBT or queer or trans or straight, whatever, like you're
So
also
I find
totally welcome just to come in, you know.
just from hearing you like describe some of the labels there, haven't we become such a label society going ways as well?
Totally
Like, you know, like for me, before you'd see labels on food, not people.
Yeah.
And so it has become crazy, like the labels. Stephanie, Miss Gay Ireland.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Stephanie. Stephanie, body positivity.
Positivity.
As soon as I heard we were doing this topic, I was like, I have to see if Stephanie's free
Thanks,
Tuesday
I try
evening.
not to shut up about it. So it's very
I
good.
think one video during the summer really hit a chord with myself.
Okay.
And I know it was a very emotional chord to hit with yourself as well, hence why you recorded the video and went public with it.
Yeah.
Can you try to discuss that video?
Was it there was two of them now, was it the
That
yes,
was
I
the
can
one
wear
about
a dress?
dress for the body that you had.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That one I did get a bit emotional on, yeah, so if you want to see my tears, turn on the Facebook page. No, it was just, so within the LGBT community, LGBTQI+, to be correct about it, it's, you know, people go on about labels, and you were just saying it there about labels, and especially within the lesbian community, you've butch, you've femme, you've dyke, you've butch dyke, you've all these
I
different
find
ones.
some of them labels are absolutely horrendous.
I'm described as futch. I'm a feminine butch.
Okay.
That's my description. I don't mind it, because, you know, I'm a bit in between, and you don't necessarily have to fit to a label, but sometimes you do. So, but it was just, I went out one night, and I think I had a full face of makeup on, and it was just, someone said to me, "Oh, you look lovely, but why are you wearing makeup?" I was like, "Sorry, what?" And they were like, "Why are you wearing it? You're a butch lesbian." I was like, "I'm not a butch lesbian." I was like, "I'm just myself." And it just created this whole heated debate and this heated topic. And it just really, really got under my skin, because a lot of people would say that, say, for my body type, I can't wear particular clothes. And that's where my fear of wearing a particular style of clothing, I wouldn't wear it because other people said it wouldn't look nice on me. It didn't matter that I wanted to wear it or that I enjoyed it or I loved it. I was just like, oh, people will look. And people will see stretch marks. People will see where I've gained weight, lost weight, where, you know, and the thing is, I could be so happy looking at that outfit in a mirror, but then I'm just like, but other people won't approve of me. And then it's that approval from society that you crave. And it's horrible. And I hate that I do it, because I still crave it a little bit now. I've become a little bit wiser. Everyone does eventually, and especially when you've kind of battled with weight yourself, which I have done. I've always had an issue with my weight, and I've always been compared as well, because I wasn't the girly girl growing up. I was a tomboy. And you know that whole 10-year challenge thing, I did mine today. And I had it's from my Debs 10 years ago, and I was in this rainbow Debs dress. I was a closet case. Nobody knew I was gay, and I was walking around in a pride flag, basically. But I wore that, and I felt great in it. And then it was just kind of, when I came out, I cut off my hair, but it was mainly because I hated long hair, not cut it off to be a lesbian. Does that make sense? A lot of people are like, oh, you cut the hair.
I feel like when you come out, you'd be the truest version of yourself.
But that's
because you've had to live a different version of yourself. Like, the average person comes out around 18, 19. How old were you?
To my friends, I was about 13 and 14.
Okay.
I used to talk
so you're
to
a lot
them.
younger than, say,
But
the younger
I came
people.
out to my family and the closest people at 19.
19.
19, yeah,
Like,
because but it was because I didn't have the vocabulary. I didn't know what it was.
The younger generation now seems like are coming out a lot younger,
But
which
they
is
know
great.
what it is.
Yeah, they do.
I didn't.
Yeah.
Like, if someone said lesbian to me, I was like, what?
No, exactly.
Like, and I never used to identify as lesbian, actually. I used to always identify as gay, but now I'm a lesbian.
When we were going to school as well, it was like, there was that thing, like, I think a lot of people who might be in 5th and 6th year now, like it's a cool, it's
They
it's
come out
a
of
trend.
second year now.
Yeah, they can. But like when we were there, for me it was in college. I felt most comfortable to do it.
Yeah.
And I think when you get to college life, that's where you can be yourself really, because
100%,
you've
yeah.
managed to break away from home. You're doing your, like, so you're not so as conscious of what you're doing affects, you know, your mommy and daddy are going to
If you
witness
go to
it.
college in your hometown, you don't manage to get away from home. Been there. But no, you find your niche, you find your clique, you find your people. Like, say, for example, the LGBT societies in the college in Cork, they're fantastic. And, like, there's events then run, like Pink Training, and it's, like, the largest gathering of LGBT students in Europe. And you just go and you meet all these people who are lesbian, gay, bi, trans, pan, asexual, all of these things, gender non-conforming, non-binary. There is so many, and I'm going to get at least one of them wrong, so I'm going to stop labeling them before I get killed. But it's such a fantastic experience, and they actually had me up as a facilitator this year doing a body positivity workshop. So it was really, really good, and it's kind of just had a knock-on effect from there. So I get to do a workshop as well with Link. It's one of the organisations in Cork, and it's the only centre of its kind.
Now, they had a show on there not so long ago in
Yeah.
Triskel, didn't they? And that was a
it
great
wasn't in
success.
Triskel, it was in the Cat Club.
Cat Club, and that was a great
it
success.
was called the L World. No, that was the one last year. Tales from Queer Side. My bad.
Was that not the one that was in Triskel?
No, it was in Cat Club. They're going to kill me because if they're watching, I'm after getting 2 places. Tales from the Queer Side anyway is what it was, and it was like snippets from different things. But two of the girls in it wrote an incredible piece. It was called Turf Wars, and it was about transphobia and transphobia within a gay bar and from lesbians towards trans women. And it was heartbreaking, and I was a stage manager, and even to sit behind the stage, and these people were just acting. And it comes from real life experience, and I was crying every day behind the stage. The women on stage did fantastic, but to make the audience and even the crew members feel that emotion was really, really difficult, and it was really, really difficult to process. And you'd hear the silence in the crowd because there was a few jokes thrown in to try and break the tension, but then people start questioning, why am I laughing at this? You know, it's not okay because I'm basically ridiculing someone for not being born into the right body. And you know, it was just an incredible experience, to be honest, and they're fantastic.
Keelan and Rory, say if you're going out on a Saturday night, or even if you're going on a date or whatever, would you feel pressure, say with clothing, or even say your image, or like, do you feel pressure at the moment with, say, what you see on Instagram, this kind of lean, kind of gym obsessed, kind of, especially January's been crazy for it. I'm fed up with seeing pictures of people in the gym. It's like, how do you feel at the moment, say, 2 young fellas going out in Cork on a Saturday night? Would you ever compare yourself to other people that you see out?
Feel like that's a red herring because I probably don't follow people on Instagram that are at gym or
I feel like you can't avoid it though, because they're sponsoring their posts. So like,
Yeah.
even though you're not following them, it's like there.
You do see them,
And like,
yeah,
that's the
you're
protein shake, big clap, like, so I know it's like, it's constant, and it's been a big one for it. Is like, do you feel like people are like always like just kind of like look at me on social media, or do you feel social media has two flips of a coin?
I think we're particularly bad in Ireland for it because, you know, it's like we all just binge for Christmas, and then we're like saints for all of January, like Instagram.
I wish I was.
Or no, like I mean, I don't kind of prescribe to it at all, but like if I see another person like Instagram storying their salad that they're having, it's like, is that really like what's got like capital now in communities? I think it's ridiculous. Like, if you go out, you should feel comfortable, and certainly when you're out, you shouldn't feel like anyone has the right to comment on what you've decided is.
You'd be surprised though, because I've been in situations where people have commented on my appearance, and they've commented on my weight mainly, actually.
For sure.
And what was I told? I was so pretty and I have lovely teeth, but if I just lost the weight around the teeth, I was like,
well,
I was like, yeah, thanks, curb my teeth myself. It's fine. But like, you build such a skin to it that you become desensitized to it, and then you don't realize that it's actually chipping away at your exterior, and that you have this thick skin in place. And then all of a sudden, the cracks actually go through, and it can be so detrimental to your mental health. I mean, the amount of people who end up with eating disorders, and when we talk about body positivity and even body shaming, the amount of people who think it's just geared towards people who are overweight. But it's geared towards people who are underweight, or people who aren't, like, people who are like, oh, and I look, hands up, I'm guilty of it. I used to call people skinny, or, you know, eat a sandwich, like, you know, but that was before I even realised what I was doing. I did, because in my head, being an overweight person, body shaming was always towards an overweight person. And it was just engaging in the thinking of it over the last couple of years and educating myself. I was like, do you know what, no, body shaming is, regardless, it might not even be to do with someone's weight, it could be to do with someone's teeth, their hair, their skin. Some people might have had acne and acne scarring and stuff like that, and it's just down to every little detail of a person. And I suppose it's just again, be comfortable in your own skin. You might not be able to be at that point, but hopefully you will get there at some point.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
I think as well, like the more positive examples we have in the media or in the public life, or of people who don't all look like one way,
Exactly.
you know, the better. I
There's
think.
also there's a language thing as well with social media. Like you're right. There's a flip coin, or there's two sides to this coin. In that, like we were just talking about labeling, and we didn't grow up with understanding so many of those labels. But because I understand the labels, I also
And
understand
that has come from
who those
social media.
people
That we
are,
have
yeah.
gotten it. So that's why you have the flip coin with it. There's a lot of good and then there's a lot of bad. But the good has been very strong
I
because
think the good
Yeah.
is outweighing it, though.
it's
because
definitely helped the world that me and you come from, because we come from the
100%.
LGBT world, and I think massively, like last week on the show we discussed same-sex adoption, and that's not something I would have ever put my hands up and said I'd have done 7 or 8 years ago when me and you were coming out, Stephanie. Now I feel like the guys here, my kid potentially will be going to school with Stephanie, or even you guys' child as well. So like, I feel like we're going to be rearing them in a way that this is life now, or this is society now, and social media has
Can you
definitely
imagine our
helped
kids'
that.
parties?
Well, social media has definitely helped new voices come to the front that weren't allowed on national TV or weren't allowed on the radio, or even nowadays when they are on those things, you have to have an opposing voice to them. So I think if you're kind of clever about it, and like the good thing about social media is that you, for the most part, decide what you see yourself. And so I think if you're willing to engage with the positive stuff that's out there, then you'll see positive things, and you'll probably learn a lot about different people's perspectives and about their lives, about their opinions on mental health or their own body.
Like social media is igniting activism. Like it is from such a young age. Like so many young people are getting on these hashtags that are trending. And like social movements are starting from a simple hashtag by one person. I mean, there's a 10-year-old drag queen doing a drag show for people who are under the age of 16. And I know a lot of people won't support that, or they might be, you know, oh, that's a very young age to be doing it. But I'm like, this young child is expressing themselves, and everyone questions, say, a male doing makeup. And I'm like, but it's a form of art, and it's a form of creativity and self-expression. And if you can encourage that rather than the toxic masculinity that goes on. But it's the same with, say, the female side of it. You know, it's your tomboy might want to look feminine one day, and to see, like, there's people on Instagram like Landon Sider is a drag king, and to see the comparison of Landon Sider and his actual self, and it's just feminine woman with really insanely good drag king, like, you know. So,
Guys, you heard it there. Our thoughts on body positivity. Have we become an image-obsessed society? Let me know, guys. Drop your comments below. Thank you for tuning in to tonight's show. Tonight's show is sponsored by Energy Awareness and Verso Fashions. Guys, don't forget we've another fabulous competition on. We're really going all out here in January for, Rory?
2 tickets for Fat Blokes and 2 tickets for Lords of Strut at Frickin' Crane at the festival quarter block party.
Perfect. And guys, don't forget to win or enter the enter the competition to win. You should like this post, tag your lucky partner, and as Cher said, share. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Have a fabulous week. Tune in next week, 8:30 again for the Graham Kerr Group Show. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight,
Thanks for having
and thank you
us.
guys for joining me. Thank you.
Thanks.
Go team.
Thanks, guys.
No, that's